Hello everyone, Disney Dude here. Please like this video, hit that thumbs up if you like it, and please subscribe to my channel for more content. Alright, so I'm going to I'm going to talk about something different this time around. Instead of talking about what's coming to the parks, what's going away, I'm gonna take a breather from that, because I know that a lot of people, especially nowadays, are talking about a new theme park that's going in Orlando, and it's projected to be quite a very popular park, and it's called Epic Universe, and it's going to be part of Universal Orlando Resort. Now, full disclaimer on this video, I don't know too much about the Universal parks. That's not my area of expertise. I don't even really care for Universal theme parks. So this video is going to be more kind of the way I approached this situation. I'm gonna try to leave emotions out of this a little bit. I know it's kind of hard, especially with these, because you sooner or later you have to discuss how these projects make you feel. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of kind of rant, kind of what I really liked about the Universal parks and what I really don't like about the Universal parks. But Universal, I had never been to. Actually, I take that back already. I think we came when I was like, I don't know. Gosh. It had to be, oh my God. Let's see. Whenever Jaws was in the park. So I'm thinking 90s, okay? So, probably 90s. We came to Universal. We were not Universal people. We did not go to the Universal Orlando Resort. We didn't go to their theme parks. We were a Disney family. We always came to Disney World, and that's what we enjoyed. We didn't really care for too much for Universal. So I again, that was when I was very, very young, so I don't really remember a whole lot of our Universal trip. I do kind of remember going on Jaws, but that's, and I also vaguely remember doing the what was it called, the futuristic world of Hanna-Barbera. I think that was the name of the attraction. That I remember, and then Jaws I remember. The other things I don't really recall. So I didn't really grow up going to Universal. We were not, I was not, my mother and father included, we were not Universal theme park people. Okay? We were not that kind of family. We were a Disney family. We always came to the Walt Disney World Resort, okay? And we always went to Magic Kingdom, and then MGM Studios, and then Animal Kingdom. So those are the parks that we went to. I had never been to Epcot until I moved here in 15. I had never been to Epcot before. We never went to Epcot. I don't know why, but we never did that. We always did Magic Kingdom, MGM Studios, Hollywood if you want to, and Animal Kingdom. Okay? So that's where my area of expertise is. Because we were a Disney family and I fell in love with Disney, pretty much from, when I was like, 4, and saw the animated movies and, everything. So, and later in life, then I started appreciating the theme parks more. And, so, and then really later in life, when I started going to high school, then I started learning about Walt Disney and his life and career, and that led me down a path to learning about the movies, learning about his animators, his 9 old men, and then I learned about the Disneyland, and then the Walt Disney World Resort and things of that nature. So Universal was not my cup of tea. I had never been to Universal until fairly quite recently. So here's the thing. So when the theme parks closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I was already a Disney annual pass holder. I was an annual pass holder starting in 2016, okay? So I had been going for 16, 17, 18, 19, and then if you want to I don't count 20, but because the parks closed in March, and I joined in May. Okay, so 17, 18, 19, 20. So 4 years. For 4 years, for four full years, I was an annual pass holder. Okay, if you want to count 2020, you can. The parks closed in March. I don't think they reopened again until, I don't know, let's see. They closed in March. I think March, April. I think it had to be May or June, I think, that it reopened. It seems like a lifetime ago. It was only 4 years ago, but it just seems like a lifetime ago that the parks were closed due to the pandemic. But anyway, so Universal was the first theme park to reopen from the pandemic. Whether that was a good decision or not, that's up to you, okay? So I decided, well, I gotta get out of this house. Like everybody else, I was fed up being inside this house. And when Universal, obviously I wanted to go to Disney. Disney didn't reopen. They took longer to reopen. So Universal was the first one to reopen from COVID. So that's when I went to Universal. Because nobody knew how long the parks were going to be closed. Nobody knew that. So I ended up getting a Universal annual pass because I was like, I don't know how long Disney's going to be closed, so I got to do something to get out of this house, So I became a Universal annual pass holder, and so obviously, I had the highest tier of annual pass, which included, obviously, free parking, admission, all that stuff. And then it was free fast passes after 4 o'clock. You could use free fast passes after 4 o'clock for every single ride at both theme parks, which was nice. That's going to be this discussion, is what I enjoyed at Universal and what I hated about Universal, and what I wish that Disney would take from Universal, and what Disney does better than Universal. Okay? That's what this conversation is going to be about, okay? So, all right. So we're in 2020. Universal reopened, became an annual pass holder, and I was really excited to. And obviously, I knew we were going through a pandemic, so I knew things were going to be different. It was like, okay, so I know we're not going to have any live entertainment, at least for a little bit. I know that we're going to have to wear masks, which never bothered me. And I knew that we were going to be 6 feet apart, which didn't bother me. So I go to Universal during the pandemic, and it was the weirdest thing I'd ever been through in my life, okay? They did make us wear masks, which, again, I didn't mind. The only problem was, this is Florida. It's very hot. June, July, August, September, okay? It's very, very hot. Very hot. All right? So that was the only bad thing about that. So we go to I go to every ride. They gave me, hand sanitizer, which was not optional. They had to give you hand sanitizer. And then they sent me with other people. They sent me with other parties. All right. So, obviously, you have all the queues separated, with, 6 feet markers, okay? So you have people separated 6 feet from each other. When you get to the rides, that was a different story. It was like someone, they were like, oh, they get to the rides, it's fine, it's okay. They can sit with other people, it's fine. Really? Really? Yeah. Okay, that I was not comfortable with. I was not comfortable sitting with other people during, a global pandemic. Okay, face masks or no face masks. Okay, I was like, okay, do we really need to do that? Okay, the other thing is they, so unlike Disney, which had a reservation system in place, and say what you want about that reservation system, okay? In the beginning, that reservation system really did help. In my opinion, and your opinion may differ, that's fine. In my opinion, the early days of having that park reservation system was great, because you knew the parks were limiting capacity, and you knew that you could walk around the parks, have space to yourself, and it was great. And So, I went to Universal. Everything was totally different. It was like, people were not social distancing on rides. I get to the water rides, they're like, "Oh, you can take your face mask off for this water ride." No, I'm good. I'm fine, thank you. I don't feel comfortable taking off my mask during a pandemic, just because we're outside, and you said it's okay. No, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. That's outrageous. That is outrageous. And so so Disney finally reopens, and when I went back to Disney, it was like night and day. Night and day. Okay? They were social distancing. They had, obviously, both parks, had that, which was a smart move. Both parks, or, in this case, all four of Disney's theme parks, made us wear face masks. But even on the rides, they had us separated in different rows. So they were only loading so let's take Pirates, for example. Pirates has 6 rows. They were loading row 1, skipping row 2, row 3, skipping row 4, row 5, skipping row 6. Okay? And I was like, okay, this is great. This is actually the way you should be doing this. So I agreed with that. I agreed with what Disney was doing during the pandemic more than I did with Universal. The only thing I didn't agree with Disney during the pandemic was, after a while, their live entertainment didn't come back. They cut all of their live entertainment because the union came out and said, if you want our people to come back, we want them to be social distance and we want them to wear face masks. And Disney was like, well, that's not going to happen. That was really stupid. To be honest with you, that was really stupid on their part. They should have done that, because had you have done that, you would have added more capacity to your parks and just, split us, different sections. That would have been fine, okay? But they didn't do that. So, Universal had good things. Disney had some better things. The big drawback was Disney had no live entertainment. Universal had live entertainment. Okay? So that was one of the things I didn't agree with. But getting to what I'm going to talk about now is the rides. So now I've set up the pandemic and everything, and so this was my first time experiencing Universal. I never hadn't been in years, decades, I would say even, and so I was like, okay, I'd like to experience these rides. Okay, so I went through all the lands: Seuss Landing, Toon Lagoon, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter. I did everything. Okay, and their ride quality is bad. Okay, it's bad. Now I'll give them one thing. Their queues, fantastic. They are fabulous queues. They take the time to set up these rides, and they're really great queues. Okay, Disney has done a lot of that, but I think Universal has nailed their queues. Their queues are great. Some of their rides are garbage. Okay, they're garbage. All right, so the rides I liked, the rides I liked at Universal were the Cat in the Hat, and Dudley Do Right's Ripshaw Falls. Popeye, I really liked. Trying to think of what other rides. I really liked the Hogwarts Express. I really liked Shrek. Minions was okay. It wasn't great. Jimmy Fallon's, the queue was fantastic. That queue is wonderful. It really feels like you're going to Times Square to watch the Tonight Show. That ride, that's a different story. You either love it or you hate it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. But I didn't think, wow, this is a piece of garbage. Okay? Fast and Furious, that was garbage. The King Kong ride, that was okay. Harry Potter Forbidden Journey, I didn't really like that. I didn't like being, swung around upside down and such. I didn't like that. The Minions ride, I didn't like it. It was too screen heavy. Here's the thing, okay? Universal's rides, good or bad, they are pretty much all screen-based rides. Okay? I don't like that. Me as a park goer, if I'm going to a place, like if I'm going to Springfield, okay, for however long that lasts at Universal, but if I'm going to Springfield to see The Simpsons, I should, see Simpsons animatronics, okay? It's all on a screen, okay? If I'm going to race through New York with Jimmy Fallon, I'd like to have a Jimmy Fallon animatronic. Nope. All screens. What else? Harry Potter. The Forbidden Journey, I didn't like. A couple of good animatronics. I won't argue that. But it's not great either. I didn't do Escape from Gringotts. Really wished I should have, but I didn't do that. Kong, again, was a good ride. Screens, Fast and Furious, even though that ride is garbage. even being in that ride is again, it's all screen. I just don't understand. I don't understand Universal's way of thinking. Okay, their rides are all screen-based rides. If I want to see The Simpsons on a screen, I can do that here at home. Okay, I can turn on Disney Plus and watch The Simpsons. Okay, if I want to watch Fast and Furious, God forbid, I could watch that on TV. I could get that on streaming. If I wanted to watch Kong, I can do that at home. I can watch that on TV. Okay? If I'm going to Harry Potter and all you're showing me is screens, I can do that again at home. I can do that at home. I can watch the Harry Potter movies at home. Okay? Running theme. Okay? Can you guess the running theme of this? Okay? It's, all these rides are screen-based, heavy rides. And I'm sorry. I don't see the appeal of screen-based rides. I just don't. And look, there's plenty of people out there that I'm sure really like Jimmy Fallon. They really like Fast and Furious, although I've never met one yet. They really like Kong. They really like The Simpsons. Okay? If you like those rides, great. If the rides are all going to be screens, I can do that at home. can do that at home. You know, so it's, you know, I was like, you know, I had to visit a theme park for this. You know, it's like I could just do this at home, okay? So that's part one of this video, okay? Is I was just not thrilled with Universal's rides for the most part. Now, I like Seuss Landing. Seuss Landing's fine. It's okay. I really like Toon Lagoon. Dudley Do-Right I really loved, even though the ride's not great. It's, you know, it's takes me back to my childhood of Rocky and Bullwinkle, you know, because I love Rocky and Bullwinkle. So that took me back to my childhood there. So that's the first part of this video. So I've set up things with COVID, set up, you know, the rides and everything. Now I'm going to talk about another big... So the second part of this video is going to be talking about Epic Universe. Universal's third theme park. Alright, so we know that we're getting Super Mario. We know we're getting Pokemon. We know we're getting How to Train Your Dragon, okay? We know we're getting those rides, okay? Or they are, okay? I can honestly tell you they're gonna be all screens, because that's what Universal does, okay? I have seen footage of... I have watched footage of Mario Kart, okay? That's all screens. Not what you would expect from a Mario Kart ride to be. When you think of Mario Kart, you think of a fast-moving ride where you're, you know, shooting people and knocking them out of the way and trying to win a trying to win a race. It's a slow-moving dark ride with VR glasses. I rest my case. Okay? I rest my case. Alright? And, you know, that land is gonna be gorgeous, okay? It's gonna be gorgeous. But it's gonna have a lot of problems visually. Here's the other thing. Universal does not do any better. Universal is horrible with their sightlines. Horrible. If you think Disney is bad, if you think Disney has gotten bad, go to Universal. Go to Universal Islands of Adventure and tell me, when you're riding Dudley Do-Right and you're at the top of that hill and you're looking out and you see Harry Potter's castle staring at you, that takes me out of the story. I'm no longer in, you know, the world of Dudley Do-Right. I'm looking at Harry Potter. I'm looking at, you know, Harry Potter's castle. I look to my, let's see. I look to my, either my left or my right, okay? I see the Hulk over there. I see, you know, Jurassic Park over there. I see, you know, just, you know, different sight lines. You know, the sight lines are bad. They're absolutely horrible. You know, I've never been on, you know, I'm not a big roller coaster fan, so I don't do roller coasters, but I've seen POV footage of the Hulk. Okay, it's the same thing with the Hulk. Okay, you're looking at, you know, again, across that lagoon, you're seeing Harry Potter, you're seeing Jurassic Park, you're seeing Toon Lagoon, you're seeing, you know, Lost Continent, you're seeing Seuss Landing. And I'm sorry, but that's not great. That's not what it's supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to block the sight lines from other lands, so I'm just fully immersed in that land, okay? And don't get me wrong, I really like Slinky Dog Dash at Toy Story Land. The rest of the land is garbage, okay? I like Toy Story Land, okay? Or wow, I just defeated him. Wow, I made the wrong point. Toy Story Land is garbage. I really like Slinky Dog Dash. Now, the problem I have with Slinky Dog Dash is the second half of that roller coaster. You're at the top, okay? You've just come from the tallest peak of Slinky, and you're going through the second part of the track now. Now you're at now you're facing this way. And now I'm seeing the Chinese theater right in front of me. Okay, well now I'm no longer in Andy's backyard, okay, because now I'm seeing the Chinese theater right in front of me. And actually, speaking of which, you know, when you go up that giant hill at the second part of the ride, you see Galaxy's Edge. Now I'm looking at Galaxy's Edge, and you didn't solve the problem the second half, because now I'm looking at the Chinese theater. Okay, so at no point do I feel like I'm in Andy's backyard when I'm riding that ride. Okay, the sightlines are horrible. Okay, and it it just pulls you out of the story. It pulls you out of the story, and then you go back, and you go on Big Thunder Mountain. All right, at the Magic Kingdom. At no point do you leave Frontierland. You are fully in Frontierland. Even when you're at the top of that lift hill, you're at the top of that lift. I think it's like the second lift hill. Okay, you're at the top of that lift hill. Now, granted, you're faced the other direction, so you're going this way, and everything else is facing that way. Okay. Like, why couldn't you have done that? It's like, that would have been easy, okay? Then I wouldn't be looking at, Cinderella's castle over there. I wouldn't be seeing, Adventureland over there. I wouldn't, be seeing, Tomorrowland from over, I'm not that you can anyway, but, it's like, yeah, I'm fully in Frontierland. I don't see any, different lands from that roller coaster. Okay, it's like, and then even with Tiana, it's like at no point, sure, I mean you can argue it's Frontierland. Okay, at the top of the lift hill, then you can see Cinderella's castle. If you want to make that argument, you can. I buy it more now that it's Tiana's Bayou Adventure, because in your mind you're looking at the castle and you're thinking, oh, there's it's obviously not it's Cinderella's castle, but you're at the top of that lift hill, you're looking at that castle, and you're thinking, okay, that's Princess Tiana and Naveen's castle. So kind of, okay? So it's, and even with Seven Dwarfs, I never leave Fantasyland, okay? I never ever leave Fantasyland, okay? All you see is, Fantasyland one way, Fantasyland the other way. At no point do I see Tomorrowland, looking right at me, or do I see Frontierland looking right at me? Okay, it's this is the difference between kind of Disney and kind of the Chapek era, and then Universal. Okay, because before Chapek, it was all about sightlines, okay? We're going to do everything we can to keep you in this land for as long as we can on this ride, okay? Big Thunder, Seven Dwarfs, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, even when it was Splash Mountain, although the castle kind of, I get it, it's no other way you could face it. So, I get it, but it's and even with even though I don't really like to write it. Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom. At no point do you ever leave Asia, and you're at the very top of as far as you can go. As high as you can go. You are 50 feet up, or whatever it is, whatever the max is. And I'm seeing everything. Okay, when you're at the top of the lift hill, when you go up that giant lift hill at the beginning of Everest, you see all of Walt Disney World. At no point do I see anything that's, oh, there's Slinky Dog, I can see that, I don't see that. Sightlines, you just don't see them with Everest. It's, you don't see the outside world when you're riding, Everest or Big Thunder or Seven Dwarfs or Tiana, kind of. So it can be done. It can be done, okay? I just don't know, somewhere along the line, well, I know why, because Chapek, because he didn't care about sightlines, so thus you got, Slinky Dog Dash and Toy Story Land facing two different lands at the, one point of the ride, and then another land at the other point of the ride, and it's like, okay, we don't care about sightlines. You get to that, and it's like, okay, that's not great, okay? But for the most part, Disney cares about their ride quality, their sight lines. That's the point of this rant, okay? Is they, for the most part, couple of exceptions to that, but for the most part, they are consistent with their sight lines, okay? And then you go to Universal, and it's like, we don't care. It's fine. No one cares. Moving on. So it's like, okay, whatever. So that's the second part of this rant. The third part now I'm going to get into. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a long video. So I apologize, but so this third part to my argument is Epic Universe is going to open. All right? And people are saying, "Oh, it's going to kill Disney. Disney World is going to die because of Epic Universe." Excuse me. I've talked so much. I'm drawing out my voice. Okay. People are saying it's going to kill Disney, and it's going to be so much better than Disney, and it's just going to, it's going to be revolutionary, and it's going to break all the rules and blah blah blah. Is it though? Well, I don't know, but I have to place their, what they do with their rides and their sightlines. I have to compare it to what's already there, okay? I have to. Excuse me. I have to compare it with what's already there, and the sightlines are bad. They're really, really bad. So, Universal is really bad at that. It's really bad at that. All right. And it's a lot of people make arguments for the wrong reasons. Okay. People are like, oh, I go to Universal because Universal is better than Disney, and I don't get cheated at Universal and blah, blah, blah. I don't get nickel and dimed and That's why I go to Universal. That doesn't make any sense. They're nickel and diming you. You just don't. People. For some reason people don't hold Universal standards to Disney standards. Okay. Universal. So even before Disney charged for fast passes, Universal was doing that. Okay, they had paid fast passes. Okay. Sure, it's cheaper, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's cheaper to get into the parks. I don't know. But after you factor into, getting into the parks, factor in your food, factor in, what you're going to do that day. Excuse me. With all the add-ons and everything, it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. With Disney. It's, so I just don't understand why people are making that argument of, oh, Universal's cheaper. It's really not. It's really not that cheaper. Okay? Go do your research. It is not cheaper. It is not cheaper. Okay? It's, and then people complain because Disney raises their prices. So does Universal. No one talks about that for whatever reason. Okay? Disney raises prices and everybody gets so up in arms, gets so angry. So does Universal. Universal's the first one to raise their prices, and no one bats an eyelash. No one cares. And it's like, how can you care about one and not the other? They have to be equal. They have to be on the same level. Okay? So I just don't understand. I don't get it. Why people are making the wrong arguments about Disney and Universal. They're making the wrong arguments. Okay? So when people say, I go to Universal because it's cheaper, now you're just being stupid. Now you're being stupid. Okay? So please don't say that. I hate it when people tell me that. When I tell people that, I love going to Disney and everything, and then people are like, oh, I like going to Universal because it's cheaper and blah blah blah, and it's like, oh my God, then I have to explain to people, it's not. Okay, it is not. Okay. So with this new park, is it gonna hurt Disney? Yeah, it's gonna hurt Disney for a while. It is. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that it's gonna hurt Disney for a while. Okay. It's gonna hurt SeaWorld for a while. Okay. Is it gonna kill Disney? No, it's not gonna kill Disney. Okay. People need to get off that kick of, oh, it's Disney's death. It's not. It's really not. Okay. So people need to get off that kick of this Epic Universe is going to be the Disney killer. It's not. It's not going to be. Okay. Especially with Disney investing so much into their existing theme parks, they didn't even have to build a fifth theme park, which is, after this whole kerfuffle with Disney and Florida and that whole mess, which I'm not getting into, because it's a bunch of nonsense anyway. After that whole mess, the governor was like, you can build your 5th theme park now. There never was going to be a 5th theme park. Disney had no plans of building a 5th theme park. They never did. So, it's like, that was never going to happen. That was never going to happen. Disney was never going to build a 5th theme park. Okay? Number one, they don't have the space for it. Okay? Number two, they were very smart and realized that we can add capacity to our other theme parks by adding new stuff. Okay? That Villains Land in Magic Kingdom, that's going to help Magic Kingdom. Because Magic Kingdom always needs stuff to do. I mean, I know that we say that because it's got the most rides, in all the parks. But, Magic Kingdom's going to have more to do. It's going to have more to do. I hate to bring it up, but Animal Kingdom, when they replaced It's Tough to Be a Bug with Zootopia, Better Together, when they replaced that, if anyone goes to that, I don't know, that's going to add capacity to the parks as well. So, let's see. Epcot, not really adding any. Well, actually, I take that back. Epcot's updating Test Track, so that's going to be a new reimagining, new reimagining to that, which that'll be interesting to see. Let's see. Did Magic Kingdom, getting Villains, getting that Cars, those Cars rides. I think that's it for Magic Kingdom. Villains and Cars. I think that's it for Magic Kingdom. With Epcot, I think they're pretty much done with Epcot. They've moved on. They said we're done with Epcot now. So that's a shame. I would have liked to have had that Mary Poppins, dark ride and the spinner. I would have liked to have something to do in England. In England, that would have been nice. That's never going to happen. I would have loved to have had a updated Spaceship Earth. That's probably not going to happen either. Let's see. Moana. That's okay. That's that's great for kids. So I don't have a problem with that. Communicore Hall and Plaza. That's just ugh. It's like, okay. You didn't theme these areas to anything. And that Encanto section, that stage show, that's another thing that needs to go. That's gotta go. But so Epcot's what it is. Hollywood Studios, I think that's gonna be great. They're adding Monsters Inc. They're gonna put Monsters Inc. in where Star Wars Launch Bay is. That's going to be great. That's going to add capacity to that park, which needs it desperately needs. That's going to be great. That Villains show that's replacing Lightning McQueen, that's going to add capacity. Even that new Little Mermaid show, God forbid when that's going to open. Now they're saying summer of next year. I was really looking forward to that fall opening because I was like, oh, now we're going to have something more to do here. And that didn't happen, unfortunately. But that's going to add capacity to Hollywood Studios for sure, which desperately needs it. I think that's everything. Animal Kingdom, putting Indiana Jones in, that's gonna pull people in. I think even more so than Dinosaur. People ride dinosaurs, especially if they're not annual pass holders. They ride Dinosaur and they don't get it. They're like, what is this? It's a Jeep ride in the dark. Is it a roller coaster? No, it's a Jeep ride in the dark. But does it go upside down? No, it's a Jeep ride in the dark. They don't get it. People don't get it, and it's, I think Indiana Jones is gonna pull in people. Same with Encanto. Or not Encanto. Is it? Yeah, Encanto. Because I think Encanto's going in that Tropical America section as well. And then Encanto, that boat ride, that's going to pull people in too. So, I think Disney was very smart in adding capacity to their parks and not building a fifth theme park. Because I don't think they had the space for it. 2, they don't even really need it. They didn't need that. They just need to add capacity to their other parks. So, that'll be interesting when those things open. I mean, some people like Everest. I don't like Everest. That's fine. Kali River Rapids, I think that needs to go. It's not great. It's in the heat of the summer, it's fine. It's a way to cool off, but do something else. Do something else. Yeah, do something else in that space. That needs to go. But, I mean, so it's, but, getting to the, back to my point is, Disney's adding capacity to their theme parks. So that's great. And I, truly believe that they're going to do this correctly. They're going to do this right, because this regime knows what they're doing. But, I get, Bob Iger's not everyone's favorite person in the world. I get it. But I've said this a million times, he's a hell of a lot better than the previous guy, Bob Chapek. Because Bob Chapek did not care. He did not care. He didn't care about maintenance. He didn't care about the parks. He didn't care. He just didn't. He did not care. Okay? And that's evident. We are still feeling the effects of that regime. And it's going to take a while for the boat to turn completely around and back to where it was. It's getting there. Slowly but surely, it's getting there. Okay? You just have to give them time. But I think it's really unfair for people to hold Universal at a different standard than they do with Disney. It is the same. You have to have the same. You have to have the same expectations. Favoring one over the other is not the way. And look, I will be the first one to tell you, I don't really even like Universal, okay? I don't like their theme parks, okay? I like Jaws, okay? I like Jaws. I love the Back to the Future movies. But, those are not my favorite films. My favorite films are Disney films, because we were a Disney family. So we grew up with this brand from the time I was 4 years old to now, okay? So we have, I have grown up with this brand. I have grown up loving this thing ever since I was 4 years old, and we went to the parks. I've loved it. I've loved, the Walt Disney World theme parks, okay? But I think it's very unfair. It's very unfair to hold Universal at a higher standard than Disney, because it's not. It is not. They are equal. They are the same, okay? And it's not apples and oranges, okay? It's not. You have to compare. They are the same. They are the same. And if you say, well, you can certainly say, I like Universal better than Disney. You can say that. That's fine. I don't have a problem with you having, a different opinion than me. Okay? That's fine. But to say things like, well, I go to Universal because it's cheaper, and that blah blah blah. That just makes you sound. That makes you sound stupid, and that's very ignorant. So, you need to do your research. Do your research with Universal and Disney. And to be honest with you, you get what you pay for. Is Disney expensive? It's very expensive. In my opinion, it is well worth that money. Universal, for what I paid for that annual pass, and it was cheaper, but I got a cheaper product. You get a cheaper product. And Universal does not care the same way as Disney cares. Okay? Disney should be, saying one is better than the other is, that's not the way. That's not the way, people should be acting. Okay? Disney has, look, Disney has made their fair share of mistakes. Okay? They have. Like any other company, they've made their mistakes. Okay? Universal made their mistakes as well. Probably a lot more than Disney. But this depends on the way you look at it, really. But Universal has made their fair share of mistakes as well. Okay? They aren't perfect. Okay? They are not perfect companies. Okay? But they must be treated the same. They must. It has to. Okay? But you can, I certainly, if people say I like Universal better than Disney, that's fine. That's your opinion. Some people say I like Disney better than Universal. That's fine. Some people say I like SeaWorld better than I do Disney or Universal. That's fine. But to hold one above the other in standard, people, you should not do that. You should not do that. When Universal builds crap rides, you should go after them and say, look, this is a piece of garbage. Shame on you for doing that. People don't do that. When Disney builds rides that are garbage, people should be, saying, look, that's garbage, shame on you. And people do say that. But for some reason, when Universal builds garbage rides, no one says anything. What? And that's wrong. That's wrong in my opinion. So, it's they one is not better than the other. One is not better than the other. It's equal. It is equal. Okay? So, that was, the main purpose of this video and this rant was I'm tired of hearing people say that, Universal is better than Disney because, they don't nickel and dime you, and they don't do this, and they don't do that, and blah, blah, blah. And they make the wrong points. They make the wrong points when it comes to comparing the theme parks, okay? So, that's the purpose of this video, is you need to hold one at the same level with the other one. Okay? So people need to start doing that. Okay? So that was the point of this video, this very long video that's, now an hour long, because it's ranting and raving. Okay? But yeah, people must do that. People must do that. They must hold one to the same standard as the other. One is not better than the other one. One is not worse than the other one. They are the same. They are the same. Okay? So that's what needs to happen. People are going to have their opinions. I get it. That's fine. Just don't make outlandish remarks about Universal and them driving Disney out, and it's going to kill it. This theme park's going to kill Disney. It's not. It's not. Okay. So that was the main purpose for this video. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. We're gonna definitely have to wait and see. Is Epic Universe gonna be popular? I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I don't know. So we're just gonna have to wait and see when that opens, and we're gonna have to see what happens with Disney. When they finally open all their attractions and everything, we're gonna have to see how that goes. So it's gonna be a very interesting couple of years. And I'm interested to see what happens. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this video, this very long video. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else really to say. Thank you very much for watching this video. Again, if you like the video, hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. And we will see you real soon, folks. All right? Thank you.